welcome to the bench. Hope everyone had a very, very wonderful, incredible Christmas and a holiday. I hope it was great. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Hope there was just a little bit of chaos, because if you're on the bench, chaos is going to ensue. I know we had a little bit of chaos around our house.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean,
Chaos.
with three little ones going around, I just don't plan for anything because it's just like, hey, somebody's going to open somebody else's gift and then somebody's going to get mad about it. And then there's going to be a fight. And what's Christmas without a fight, you know?
That's right. I know my sister said, I told her that we had found a frozen, one of the Tony little like audio things you
Oh,
put on top of the cube and
yeah.
things or whatever. And we had just found one of them in the chair. She's like, "Oh, I just assumed it got thrown away, so I'm glad you found it." So you just kind of have to chalk things up as a loss like that,
Yeah.
or you just go insane. But anyway, I hope it was great for everybody. And now it's on to celebrating the beginning of a new year, or just the end of this one, or
Yeah.
both.
Both. Yeah.
I think both is in store for a lot of us. But as you can see, Sam is not here with us. He was on the naughty list, and so he had to sit one game out.
Yeah.
That was what Santa brought, and
many
that's what
elbows.
Santa delivered.
Too many elbows.
That's right. Too many bows. Too many bows. But we wanted to kind of kick this episode off with a quick update. We had talked about a while ago about kind of a challenge we had amongst not just us three, but we wanted to kind of bring other people in. We didn't get a ton of engagement on that. We definitely have gotten some feedback on it. But between us, we kind of want to give an update on our Portal King. Sam has the commanding lead right now. I mean, I don't know that we're going to be able to, Jake and I are going to be able to rebound from this.
I think we're buried.
But I think we're a bit buried for sure. But Yaxel for Michigan, he's being kind of the only guy we chose that seems to be having a good year. You know, Donovan Denton is who I picked. 25 plus games, or no, 25 plus games, sorry, and 2 double-doubles. That's really all he's done.
Yeah.
One 25-point game and nothing else for Bryce Hopkins. That's who Jake picked.
Yeah.
Not great.
Then
there's Yaxel.
It's sad right now with like St. John. We'll get into St. John's different, but St. John's as a whole is just a different level of sad, and it's just unfortunate. And I'm riding there, so I'm going ahead and perfecting what my punishment will be, because I don't see me getting anywhere near second place in this either.
No. Well, and so Yaxel, he's had 2 25-plus point games, 3 double-doubles, and 1 player of the weeks. Not too shabby, considering you're playing on a team that's right now setting historic standards. But I think Donovan Dent could maybe, possibly, have a little bit of a splash here in the second half of the year. He still has, there's still a window of opportunity. It's just whether or not he's going to get that opportunity or not.
But yeah,
and what he makes up.
For sure. He's not out of it by any stretch. It's like, I've made the joke that Sam had taken a giant lead just because the player of the week thing was big, and then Yaxel just cleaned it up. But honestly, all three of them have been a little bit of a disappointment. I would have thought we'd had a little more scoring out of all three of these, so we may need to revamp it next year, because apparently I can't design a game for shit. But this was like, Yaxel with only a couple 25-point games and only a couple double-doubles. It was kind of surprising. There was just as many, if not more, single-digit games, points scoring-wise, than and I guess I didn't see Mara being as big of a factor, and that kind of eats into what Axel's doing. I mean, Donovan Dent definitely got a chance, because, I mean, he's going to be a double-double machine, because that ball's going to be running through him, and I'm assuming Cronin was going to adjust to take advantage of his strengths, because they really need New Mexico Donovan Dent and not whatever they've got so far.
Yeah, 100%. And I also feel like that one thing with the Axel is that, and this doesn't have anything to do with the game he designed. It has to do with the fact that he does a lot of these little things that makes everybody better around him.
It doesn't mean they're having terrible years by any stretch, or bad years. It's just not what I expected, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we kind of talked about our teams of who we thought that were going to be. Was it best, worst, and surprise? Was that what we?
No. The way we designed this game, the way I designed this game.
I'm trying to remember.
We were picking 5 teams, and out of 1 from each conference, and the best win-loss record is who wins, and the worst win-loss record is who loses. And I am feeling very good about myself right now.
As you should, my friend. Jake is sitting at 63-10. With the best being Iowa State, 12-0, worst being Creighton, 8-5, which is still that's still shocking, honestly. Yeah. And then surprise is also that Iowa State is 12-0.
Yeah, I didn't expect 12-0 out of them. I mean, I'm very happy.
Golly. Yeah.
Definitely thought there'd be at least one loss with the visit to Purdue. Didn't know what Lindsey
Mhm.
was going to be coming into the year, so this is kind of a surprise for me. I mean, the other teams I've got Duke, who's what 11-1, and I've got Gonzaga, which now Gonzaga is just going to rack up wins for me because we're getting in the conference play. So it's just they're
Sure.
playing high school level teams for the rest of the year. So I'm going to count and just stack my money there. And like Duke's in a weaker ACC, so I'm feeling really good. I don't think Iowa State will be undefeated for much longer as we turn the year here and get to conference play. I will take my 12 wins at the beginning of the year and just check in, be way ahead right now.
Yeah, and then Sam is 59-15. Best being UConn 12-1. The worst being 8-4 Boise State.
I feel like we should
And
penalize him more for that since they lost to a D2 team. I feel like we should add like a couple
uh,
of losses in.
yes, yes. Gosh, that was rough. Oh yeah, big miss of an opportunity for them as well. But gosh, that's something I don't care what you do. You can win out. That loss is still going to haunt you. And then the surprise being Texas Tech being 9-3. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. I mean, I kind of feel like they should be the ones without a loss or with one loss.
Yeah, for sure. They've been like a paper tiger this year, really, and it's been confusing. I know they were beat up for a bit and slowly getting guys back and full speed, but maybe they turned the corner with that Duke win. Who knows? But I mean that was also one that Duke was up 17 and should have handled. I don't know that they won that as much as Texas Tech or Duke lost it, but it's been a little bit shocking to me and not a great sign. Like you said, we get in the conference play. The Big 12 is mean and tough, so that's going to be a bit rough going through that. So maybe they turn the corner. Maybe they surprise us. I know traveling to Lubbock is an issue because there's nothing there. I think you've got to like fly to whatever the closest city is and then take a couple-hour bus ride to get there. So it's a
Mhm.
bit of a home court advantage, and the fans are crazy. So maybe they'll win all their home games and still a few road ones and help Sam out, but not too much. I want to keep him in at least second place here. I can't lose both games here.
Yeah, yeah. Though, and then I'm at 54-18 with Michigan State and Houston being 11-1. I think Michigan State's probably the one that I picked that I think you all were kind of doubting a little bit, but I felt good about it just with Izzo and I kind of felt like he's tailing off here, which the game when he leaves, the game is what a brutal loss. I'm glad that he's still here and still going. Houston, that one loss though.
Hey, can't be mad about the one loss. Like that's the one loss you wanted them to have.
That's right, to the Tennessee Volunteers. And then San Diego State has just not shown up. Nobody knows where they are.
No, they were supposed to be a defensive powerhouse, and they're giving up 80s and 90s every night, and then the offenses are there. It's been shocking this year. I expected a lot more out of the San Diego State team. I don't know if they were feeling the hype a little bit too much because there's a lot of steam on them in the preseason, or if this move to the
Mhm.
Pac-12, I think they're doing next year, got kind of got in the way. I don't know, but I mean, the Mountain West is down this year, definitely. Like it's not as good as it has been in the past couple years, but so there's still some room there for them to pack on some wins. But I mean, you got Boise State lost to Division II team there in your conference, but I don't know. It's been shocking and surprising. I mean, the players era they really didn't show up at all, and they was kind of embarrassing.
We were
And
fired up
that was their
for that
first time on the
matchup.
national stage, and I think they got drilled by Arizona too. So it's
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And to be honest, I've watched maybe two and a half of their games, so I'm not one to diagnose it, but it's not good, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And then probably the biggest disappointment for this college basketball season, I think probably Sam would feel the same way. Jake, I feel pretty strongly you feel the same way, but St. John's at 8-4.
We were real high
Dang.
on them as a podcast. We were thinking, oh man, they're going to battle UConn. It's going to be a close one to see who gets the one seed out of the Big East. Blah 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 blah. At this point, they might not make the tournament. Like this, it's very bad, and the Big East isn't going to help them. And we said that all year. We thought they're going to show up big in the non-conference, do well there, coast through the Big East. You'll kind of forget about them a little bit because the Big East will be so sleepy. Now they need teams in the Big East to step up so they get some decent wins in their resume. And I mean, Patino, I don't know what he's doing, and the no point guard thing did not work out whatsoever. Dylan Mitchell has been a disappointment too on that team. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not even starting now. I don't know if how many. He's not really getting that many minutes either, and it's not productive. I mean, Zuby's having a great year. Happy for him. He's doing well. But I mean, they're getting
Yeah.
rebounded left and right. It's just bad, 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 bad.
Yeah, Zuby is the only person that rebounds.
Yeah.
It seems, but yeah. So that's kind of the updates on what we've done so far, and obviously this has been fun to track and keep up with. But there's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah.
I think there's still things could shift, things could happen. But Boise State, though, I just don't know. Sorry, Sam. But one of the things I wanted to talk about that I have been thinking quite a bit about is just kind of a judgment session about coaching so far and what the coaching jobs have done so far in the season. And so, Jake, who do you think's done like the best job? I mean, I know it's pretty easy to go with the Tommy Lloyds and the Dusty Mays and all that, but which it's okay to still pick them. I'm going to
Yeah.
frankly talk about Tommy Lloyd here in a minute. But who do you think has done the best job this year so far?
I think Byington down in Vanderbilt has done an exceptional job. He took a team that was people
I
thought
wondered if
yeah, I mean, people thought they were talented, but not like at this level. Thought it was like a mid-level team, and I mean, their schedule isn't really showing how good they've done. I mean, they've beat the brakes off teams that they should that was predicted to like be 10-point games. They're beating the brakes off of them. They struggled with Memphis, but uh, they came back, won that, showed up the next night or the next game, and blew the doors off somebody. I forget who it was. Like they are playing very well. They're playing. I mean, they just released a new updated projected like SEC standings, and I forget how much they jumped, but they were jumped inside like the top 3 there to land. And it's impressive what he's done with not as much talent as and definitely not as big of a payroll as the teams around him like Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama. I mean, they are a metric starling. We'll see like if it holds true as we get into like conference play and they're playing like some real level talent. And I mean, I know scheduling is not all the way Byington's fault because coaching change and contracts and all that moves, but the non-conference schedule did them no favors there. But you know what? The metrics love them. Nat loves them. Ken Palm loves them. Evan Maya loves them. They're flirting in there in like the Final Four aspirations level, and I can't find anything to knock it. So we'll see once the real games start and the pressure keys up. Right now, I mean, if I'm doing coach of the year for the SEC, it's got to be him.
Yeah, I do not want to admit that you're right, but you are. That is pretty impressive, and to go with the fact that Vandy is on the uptick on all things sports. They've been nailing the medical field, but here they are winning in the sports field. It's pretty wild. And we'll see. We'll see. I still think they need to experience a little bit more talent
Yeah.
in their opponents. I mean, they're not somebody I would look past on my schedule. That's for sure.
I mean, you can only play who's on the schedule, right? So, I mean, if you've been with us with the Picks of the Professor and stuff, you'll know like it's a good sign when you are outdoing the metrics when you beat teams that you're supposed to like. When you beat a team that the models have you predicted to win by 12 and you beat them by 25, that's saying like, hey, you're better than what the models are expecting, so you move up. Like, so the talent's there. We'll see if they, like I said, I like to see them against real talent, but that's how all that works. So they're outperforming the expectations all the way around.
For sure. And I know that, and so for me, I know this is a kind of an easy shot, but there's a reason behind it. But for Tommy Lloyd to manage one of the best freshmen in the country, and not to mention, there's still Braden Burries who's still there, who having a really great year
Yeah.
that doesn't get talked about nowhere near enough. I mean, he's averaging. I think last time I checked, he's averaging 14 points, something like that. I think he might be the leading scorer on the team.
Really?
Um,
Talking to me. But
I
it
think
wouldn't
that might be
surprise me
right.
'cause the guy's a shooter. His role to me is very similar to like Cooper Flag and Con Knipple. Not saying those two guys are near as good as those two, but like where he's getting a little bit overshadowed because he's got a great player next to him. Everybody's forgetting that this guy looks really freaking fantastic too.
Oh yeah. And then building Jaden Bradley up. I mean, into one of the best guards in the country. And then they also have wins over Florida, UCLA, UConn, Auburn, Alabama. Now, some of those wins have lost their power a little bit. But still, I think Tommy Lloyd's putting together one hell of a year, and I don't see them slowing down at all.
Well, I mean, considering what the expectations, like what the predictions were coming in, like nobody really knew what to make of them. They said like there's a lot of talent here, but who knows? And the difference between taking a lot of like having a lot of talent and jumping them up versus having a lot of talent either falling or staying flat is coaching. And so you got to throw that to Tommy Lloyd. Like, and I feel like this gets lost a lot of times in like coaching like awards and stuff, just because you have a talented team and you do what you're supposed to do doesn't mean you didn't do an incredible job coaching. Like,
Yeah.
it tends to go to the guy that like the team that wasn't expecting much, and then they end up having more talent than what you thought, or they got hot and they won a bunch of games that they weren't. And so like, oh, everybody's like, oh, he's doing such a great job, but everybody forget like holding when your expectations are like at the top of the Big 12 and like top 5 and stuff like that. Like there's not a lot of room to go up. So holding firm is still a great accomplishment. And he's gone up and then he's held firm too. It wasn't just a like flash in the pan when they beat Florida the way they beat Florida. They went to basically to UConn, beat UConn. They're drilled Alabama in what is essentially a home game for Alabama too. Like he's been very impressive. They've done it in different ways. I think they scored like in the 60s when they beat UCLA, and then they almost put up like 150 against Alabama. Like it's
Yeah.
very impressive what he's doing. He's beating you slow, he's beating you fast, he's beating you at your game, and he's making you play his and beating you there too. It's incredible.
And I feel like too, and this is part of what's kind of for me has spurred this conversation is the fact that the way that the game of college basketball is right now may be the hardest it's ever been to coach. I think there's the business side of things and the fact that you have to recruit your players almost every year at this point. I mean, you have to keep them around. It is very rare and unusual territory. And so when you see guys really excel and handle different aspects of the game in all different areas and manage it well and excel in that, like my spotlight is shifting to you. I mean, I think it is very, very impressive, and that's not like I'm discounting what Izzo's done, where he's kind of built from within and kind of done the old school way in a lot of factors. But Tommy Lloyd has managed each of these different facets and has made it work
Yeah.
into one of the best teams in the country. So that's kind of what gives him a leg up in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I'm with you because like I've long bemoaned the fact that like coaches don't get to develop much anymore because you either have a guy for 1 year and he's going to the NBA, or a year and a half, and then he's transferring to a better team with a bigger paycheck or something like that. So you're not getting those like 4.5 or 5 year starters that really command a team. And that's kind of what he has in Bradley. I think Bradley played a year, maybe two at Alabama, and then went to
Mm-hmm.
NCAA. And I think that's a big reason why they're doing so well is they've got a point guard that's been in the same system for a while, and uh, part of that is him developing Bradley into what he is, and now he's one of the top five point guards in the NCAA. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably put him two, Braden Smith, and then him as a true point guard. But I'm willing to hear arguments otherwise.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I hope he gets. I'm ready to see him in the draft. I'm ready to see what he can. I really hope he gets a good look. Um,
Hey, with the way things are going, he can get drafted, and come right back. So who knows?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah, because you're not wrong. So we just talked about who we thought has done the best job. Who's just not met expectations? Who's done the worst job?
This is going to feel biased as I'm wearing a Tennessee shirt, but I think Pope has done an exceptionally terrible job this year with the amount that was paid to him and to his team, and the lack of production that has been like he's supposed to be an offensive guru, and like his thing is supposed to be offense and push pace and all this, and they struggled where he's supposed to be good. They've struggled where he's bad. That like they've struggled everywhere. Maybe coincidence like that last game or 2 games ago showed up, helped them beat St. John, had a really good second half, but then the next game they struggled to beat a MAC team, I think it was, and won by 14 and gave up 80 plus there. Like had to have 99, almost 100 in that. Like I don't think he's done a good job. I don't think he really likes this team. Like, not that he dislikes them, but I don't think he enjoys coaching them as much as he did last year's team. Like last year's team was incredible, and I don't think the talent level was different. Like, was a lot less than what they have this year, and he did a much better job. And now I don't know. I think he's been underwhelming in every level. And I know you can say injuries with Jaden Lowe, but I mean, that's part of your problem for only having one point guard, right? Like you're the designer of this team. And if you couldn't recruit you a backup point guard or pay one or whatever you need, or didn't think you needed one, like you're screwed up. Because I mean, that almost cost him the St. John's game. Lowe comes in
Correct.
like 15 seconds later on the first defensive possession, he's out the rest of the half. St. John's is up like 10 or 11. He comes back in the second half and like totally different story, but you can't have no other option at point guard. And I think there's a lot to be said about the lack of or the bad job he's done this year.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kentucky fans, let him learn from this. Let him learn from this. I think this is I don't think you fire the guy for a season like this. I think all that talk is garbage. That doesn't even belong on the bench. I think that is completely, absolutely
Like,
insane to me.
I would love for them to fire him because I don't want to have to go against him. So yeah, fire him. Let him
Correct.
go somewhere else outside the SEC. There we
Yeah.
go. But I don't think that's happening.
But I think I like him, but I feel like that I kind of figure I was going to say it if you were not Mark Pope, but I feel like that the shock of how poor chemistry, Jake, like you mentioned, that's on this team shows that there were priorities put in place that were not in the right. I think that they focused on things that I don't know what it was. There's something, there was not a bond that was there, and you can see that in practice. I
Yeah.
mean, if you've been a part of any team, you know if there's chemistry or not. And if there's not, there's ways to work on it. It's not dead in the water. It's not natural.
Yeah.
Some teams are natural. There is a natural chemistry, but then you know when it's not there, and there are ways to get in there. And I feel like that Mark Pope's a very motivating guy, but to be so surprised and so just
Yeah. I mean, he looks
so like
at times, like where he's just like, I
yeah.
don't know what to do. I don't know what words to say to you in what order.
And
And
maybe it was. Maybe this team got along great in the preseason and they were all hunky dory, just great. Maybe so. But I feel like that would be coming out in the media in some direction and some sort of fashion. Some beat writers, things like that, be saying, this team is just something happened. Well, we did hear that there was a fight potentially before
the
one of the
Louisville,
games this season. Yeah. Oh, against Louisville.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
like
mean that's
it's a rumor that was a big reason that the line changed 2 points right at like real close to tip. A couple hours before tip, it swung 2 points Louisville's way. So somebody had
that's
something.
unbelievable.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. Like there's ways to fix chemistry, but they feel like I mean, I don't know your experience playing basketball and all that, but like it feels like I ran into these teams all the time in the tournament. They're such front running teams. Like when they beat Purdue in that preseason game, like I think like they were carrying it forward all the time. And then the first time they got hit in the mouth in that first real game that they lose, like they lost all the chemistry because the chemistry wasn't really there. It was like, oh, this is fun when we're doing good, but nobody is really like digging in and wanting to do what's needed to be done. And like, so, and everybody was like real down real fast. You didn't have that guy that was like steady to lift the team up. And I think that shows because like that's why this team's going to yo-yo like crazy all year.
So for me, I feel like Rick Pitino has to be involved in this conversation.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same issues. I mean, it's almost a mirror image.
Right. I completely agree. And then they play each other. I mean, and they're talking about who's got the nicest suit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's just not a good look.
I know Pope played for him and all that, but like this is the lack of point guard play there is crazy. Like to not have one at all. Like I think Darling was his idea of a point guard, but he's not been that. Like he can't stay on the floor. He's in foul trouble every other breath, and like no rebounding whatsoever out of this team is crazy. I thought Hopkins a pretty big reason why I thought he would do well in our Portal King challenge was I thought the rebounds would be there with him and Zuby because he's a bigger guard, but it's like he's leaking out every time. Dylan Mitchell's not doing well. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes there. That's your pick, not mine.
Oh no. I mean, you're diving right into what I was thinking, and the fact that the conference needs you. Like in order for you to excel your program, you need to perform in a way that's going to support your conference, and you're not doing that. You have missed the opportunity. I don't know that you can get it back unless something crazy happens and you can pull it together and make the tournament. I mean, I'm not that it's crazy to make the tournament, but if you can make a splash, your conference needs. You're still in danger of that right now, and you're Rick Pitino. Like you can't sit there and overlook the fact that you are one of the greatest to ever do it, and this is what you're putting out there, especially with all this preseason hype.
Yeah.
But maybe it's something that was created by us,
or
the media.
Let's take some credit for that. Yeah, I'm with you because the Big East needs them to be good. So when the eventual upset happens in conference play, that lifts that other team up rather than pulls St. John's down. And what's going to end up happening is if nothing changes, it's going to pull St. John's down. They're going to get closer and closer to missing the tournament. It's going to make UConn look worse and worse because their resume is not as good. And so the risk them losing the one line to like who they've lost to this year already. And so it puts them in a two line, puts them in a worse position. And I mean, it's still like UConn will do well in the tournament, don't get me wrong, but it's starting to look like maybe a two bid league when it was maybe a three bid. It looks like they've already lost a bid on my guess.
No, I think I'm with you on that. And it's okay if this is overlapping a little bit, but who's exceeded expectation or just really surprised you?
I mean, we've talked about Tommy
Nebraska.
Lloyd. Nebraska, like that's where I was going. I was gonna say we talked about Tommy Lloyd. That's been one of mine that like I know they were started out ranked in the preseason and there was a lot of talent, but to go from that to arguably the best team in the country is crazy and hold it there as long as they have. Like they took the reins against Florida in the opening game and haven't let go since. But Nebraska has been shocking to me how well they're playing. And I mean, once again, the schedule hasn't been there to really show it off. I mean, they did have the win against Illinois, but depending on your opinion of Illinois, like that was I believe that was at home or was it at Illinois? I can't remember. Where it took a last. Yeah, I mean that's a big win. It's a big Big Ten win. All that, but if you don't value Illinois a lot, then that doesn't really make you value Nebraska. But Nebraska had almost zero expectations of being this good, and Hornberg has got this team flowing. They are dangerous at home. I would not want to see. I would not want to go to. I don't know
Yes.
where it is. Yeah.
Lincoln. Yeah.
Yeah, Lincoln, and they I would not want to go visit there at all because that place
Nope.
when they like when Tominaga was there, they get rocking when he starts going, and this team has got more
Mhm.
talent than that team, and they hit the threes like that. And Hoiberg is a great coach. People forget how well he did at Iowa State before he went to the pros. It's like he got forgotten there. He comes back, and this Nebraska team is this is his team, and he's doing well, and that is absolutely scary. If I'm a Big Ten team.
And then likely, I would say you and I will be watching this game, this Nebraska versus Michigan State at home, which will be an incredible game on the be Friday, January 2nd.
That feels right. Yep.
So that'll be a big test. And then, whoa, so they have New Hampshire on Tuesday, and then on Friday, Michigan State. Monday, the next Monday, following Monday, Ohio State, and then the following Saturday, Indiana.
Yeah.
So they've got. We're gonna see what they've got.
Yeah, the year turns and it's like, all right, go. Everybody gets your one bye game in this weekend between Christmas and New Year's, and then it's like, and go. So it's going to be fun. It'll be very interesting to see like what this Nebraska team does. What if Michigan State can hold on without because they still can't find jump shooting.
No, yeah, that's something that they need to find it, and they need to find it now. So Nebraska was going to be mine. What's another one?
We've already talked about Vandy. That's a big one.
Big one.
Iowa
Who am I forgetting?
Iowa State kind of. What do you mean?
I know that I kind of went back and forth with them because no, I think I still think Iowa State is still worth mentioning.
North Carolina is an interesting one too, where they're at because they're slotted in KenPom right above Nebraska. Virginia is one that you can run on for a minute because I think they came on as a dark horse to win the ACC towards the end of the year because Ryan Odom they put together an incredible transfer class and he is doing a fantastic job. Got that team grooving at the right time. It's now made me worried if Duke. I can't remember if Duke has Virginia at Virginia this year, but he's an exceptional coach and he's flexing his muscle at Virginia and they're fantastic. And when that school can get behind their basketball team, they really get behind them. You've seen that with the minute championship run. You've way back when what's his face? Why am I thinking he can't drop in his name? Big tall dude ran the ACC for like 4 years. I can't think of his name. That's going to kill me.
I can picture him right now. Then you said he was tall and
Ralph Sampson. There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Lee, I give it a minute.
Yeah, when they get behind these guys, they can really get there, and it makes that atmosphere rough. I love the way Odom coaches. It's a much more fun basketball to watch than what Tony Bennett had. And you know what? One of the best things about him personally is like he will adjust to the talent he has. Rather than like I run this system and I recruit into this system and this is what we do, he will say, okay, I'm going to get these best players that I know that can fit together and I've got this idea and then it will massage it to what he gets. And that's how you upset a number one team as a 16 seed is you run what they suck at. And that's exactly what he did and absolutely dominated that Virginia team.
So any other coaches you want to shout out? I think we've done a pretty good job of running through. I still think I think Rick Barnes still needs to receive quite a bit of pressure,
See, I
but
was gonna
I
go
don't.
there. I had 2 questions for you. I was gonna say, what's your opinion of Rick Barnes and Todd Golden are this year? My feelings is, like, Rick Barnes, we know what Rick Barnes is. We've seen Rick Barnes. This is exactly like, nothing has changed. The pressure needs to be applied a little bit because a little more money's
Mhm.
flowing in. I mean, he's still gonna win 20 plus games, and he's gonna do fine. We're gonna make the tournament. I think this year might start to get a little like the pressure might get there because there was a lot of hype coming in, maybe Final Four esque hype, and this team
Mm.
starting to look like a Sweet 16 team. And then Todd Golden there in Florida. I mean, you come in like people are talking about like, all right, repeat back to back. Does he have chances for that? And how much of it is on him versus Boogie Flan just flopping and Xavier Lee sucking for the first 10, 11 games of the year?
I think I said I got to think about this actually. I have to look back in the archives.
Yeah. Oh no,
But
you were the
the
lowest on Golden out of us. Me, you, and Sam.
I do feel like that this is going to be. However, I kind of feel like they could actually pick it up and run with it through the SEC because they've got the size, they've got the talent. There's really no reason why they're playing the way they are unless it is something internal. And I don't think it's Golden necessarily his coaching. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy.
We don't like Will Wade either, but
I don't know.
we're
I want
both
to know who
successful
he's
basketball
texting.
coaches. But I mean, they're not. We're not saying. I mean, he's definitely a better basketball coach than he is a human. Let's not go that far.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
But
but I also feel like they could make a bigger splash. I mean, their backcourt and their front court has the potential of being great, but they're in two different spheres right now. They're not in a congruent space.
yeah, they're 3, 4, and 5 guys have absolutely showed up, played out of their mind. I mean, I was questioning moving Half, whatever his name is, to the 3. I was like, we'll see. Boy, was I wrong. That dude is out of his mind. Talking about like SEC Player
Yep.
of the Year level of playing right now. If they can just get so like, I mean, you see, they started to turn it on a little bit as Xavier, like any production out of their guards goes wild. Like you can see it in the Duke game. Boogie wakes up in the second half, and all of a sudden that's a game. Like if they can get any production out of like their 1 and 2 spots, this team can automatically like this kind of reminds me of a little bit of like UConn's first title run with Hurley, where they struggled in that middle part of the conference play for a little bit, and then they come into the tournament as a 4 seed, but everybody knew this is the best team going, but like they earned the 4 seed. Not that I think Florida's just going to ram shot through the tournament, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them end up in like the Final Four or Elite Eight after having like it as a 5, 4, 5, 6 seed, and with as they struggle in conference play, and then it just all clicks at some point and they just take off.
No, no, I'm with you. I do kind of feel like Walter Clayton Jr. Those are hard shoes to fill, and I think they depended on him a lot, obviously, and he was a great leader. I think this team is struggling to have a true leader. Um, Actually, I could say that about a lot of the things we've talked about tonight is that there's not a great standard of leadership on some of these teams that need it. Kentucky,
Yeah,
I think
St.
that's a
John's.
big one. St. John's, yeah. I think they need the role of the leader. It doesn't have to be the best player. It needs to be the loudest and the strongest and the most influential player on the team. That doesn't seem to be happening as much. Even if you're not the best player on the team, I think of the freshmen that are blowing up this year, I don't know that any of them are true. Well, Koa Pete's pretty close. I kind of feel like he's like a glue guy. But I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, but that leadership role is so key. It can make a huge difference for a team like Florida.
Like I always go back to that 2015 Duke championship with you had that was mainly freshman led. You had Okafor, Jones, and Justice Winslow and Grayson Allen, all freshmen on that team. They
Yep.
did most of the scoring, a lot of the scoring. But the biggest voice on that team, I mean, on defensively, from what I've read and stuff, was Emil Jefferson, and he's the one that had the shortest, if he had an NBA career at all. He was the one constantly being loud, letting them know where they needed to be. I mean, Quinn Cook was also a very good leader as a point guard. And that was your 2 older players mixed in with those three or 4 freshmen that made that difference at that team. At this level, defense makes all the difference, and you at no point, if I'm coaching in high school, if I'm coaching talent like Boozer or Debansa or anything like that, not really going to work on defense. Not really going to, like these coaches know what they're doing and they're working on individual stuff. They're not working on because working on team defense there doesn't help them really much because the
That's right.
talent around them is not there. So you need people that on the court that are helping these guys out get used to the team defense level. And I think that's what was happening a lot of places and why you see it lacking that leadership and that's part of the one and done transfer portal, NIL, all that. People aren't staying around long enough to learn this coach's team defense or that coach. Like, couldn't imagine trying to run um, a zone type thing. Like the working the responsibilities of any kind of funky zone right now would be nearly impossible.
Well, could you imagine actually bringing on a NBA draft pick for 4 years on your team? Would you think that was even possible? Because that's our bench behavior for this episode. Because it is coming out like wildfire right now that the NCAA is allowing NBA draft picks and then giving them 4 years of eligibility
I mean,
and be able and to play mid-year.
yeah. The thing is, like, we need to separate it. It's not the kid's fault. Kid, adult, male,
No, no.
whatever you want to consider. Not his fault. He's taking advantage of a situation that was offered to him. Props to you, dude. Take advantage of it. NCAA has lost all control. There is zero. We are steps away from guys playing like Bronny James going, man, I'm not getting a lot of minutes. Let me go back to USC. You know, after being a first round draft pick and being on the roster. And I know when the one and done and the transfer portal and all that first coming out, and you had that way, there was a slippery slope argument that somebody was making somewhere. And I mean, we got him
Mhm.
close to the end of it, right? And that dude was going, ha ha, I told you this is where this was going. Because it started with the European guys. We started letting professional European, like younger guys there come over here and play with eligibility. Then that got to be older guys. And then just this year, we went from older guys to G League to now a second, the 31st pick. I mean, the guy was teams being flip flopped around to being a first round draft pick. What are we doing? I mean, the guy played in 2 summer leagues, was playing against Wemby in the summer league, and now he's going to Baylor.
Yep.
And it's, I mean, you could like follow your sports media on whatever social platform you want to follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And it's like every 2 hours you're going, oh, this guy's coming in that halfway point. This guy, like there's European guys showing up at the halfway, like Illinois got one. There's I think it said a Robert Morris transfer that's going to Oklahoma or something that's going to play halfway this. Like we are a half step away from the European soccer model where they have a transfer portal mid-year, which would be crazy. Could you imagine being a mid-major coach? You're making a run. You're like, I mean, you know, a couple years ago with Florida Atlantic, like you're picking some steam up. You're going here, and then all of a sudden that portal opens up in the middle of the year, and you know, like guys are going everywhere else. Like what's his face that went to Florida, Nick Bird, that's gone. You
Mm.
have like all of a sudden leave you high and dry. And now you don't have that Final Four run because they're all gone. Like Vlad Goldstein or whatever is gone too. Like we're steps away from that, and it's. I mean, if this, like I said, I've said this for a while. If this pushes us to the relegation model, and we get that, and it's more like pro level basketball that's on like that's in more towns where I can, like here in Knoxville at the parents' house, I can run go watch a pro team in my hometown. Like, yeah, I'll go do that
Mhm.
and like treat it like the soccer model over in England. But this NCAA has zero control at this point anymore. Because I was reading several articles on this, and and the theme to them all was like NCAA is scared to make a move against one of these guys because they're going to lose in court because they buried their head in the sand when the NIL thing was going through Congress. And one thing we know about Congress is about the speed something moves through it. So they just buried their head
Yep.
in the sand for probably 5-10 years and didn't get ready for it at all. Lost all control, and it's just college sports aren't going to be the same anymore. Like from 5 years ago, it's not going to be anywhere near the same. And basketball, unfortunately, to me, is going to be the quickest and hardest hit.
Yes, I completely agree. I was about to say that, and I do feel like that there's there's an unfortunate question that we have to face as college basketball fanatics, and that is there a way to fix it, or is we just gonna have to accept it for what it's going to be? And I've gone back and forth on that. And I think that there's still something to salvage, but at the same time, who's going to salvage it? I mean, who's going to step in and do it? I mean, there's no Superman. There's nobody's going to swoop in, and you can't. Nobody's going to come in and buy the NCAA. Well, I don't
Well, look at
guess.
you,
I
Mr.
don't think.
Beast, because you do crazy things.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Make a
Yeah,
YouTube series
yeah.
of
We're
that.
talking
How
about
to
you, Mr.
fix college
Beast. Thank
basketball.
us.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, but truly, I mean, we've already adapted quite a bit. I mean, there's plenty of people who have given up on college sports altogether, which, you know, to each their own. But if you're getting paid professional money, that makes you ineligible.
I totally agree. Like the second you played pro, whatever, it should be. And I absolutely hate the mid-year transfer thing. Like I hate adding guys mid-year. I
Oh,
know
no, I agree with that. That
Tennessee a
needs to be
handful of years
spoken up.
benefited from it tremendously with Vescovy jumping in halfway through. But I mean, how much better would it have been if he waited to the next year, and then we would have had him and Z the whole time, like, instead of losing that year for the halfway point. I just hate
Yep.
that because that feels very to me, like,
Hmm.
weird. But yeah, the second you, and I'm not saying the guy should be, the argument isn't the player shouldn't be paid. It's once you once you've gotten paid to play basketball, you should not be able to get into this like
Correct.
NCAA. Like that should be. It's like, hey, this is your first steps kind of deal. Your entry level position. Let's not make it this professional like organization. But I don't know. I think that's long gone. I think NCAA is that they can't do anything because they've let too much go. So like, how are you going to go? This guy can, but this. Well, I mean, shit. They've done that forever with before the transfer portal and making guys sit out. It's like this guy can, this guy can't. They've done that forever. So I don't know why they're not getting involved and going like, this guy can play, this guy can't. Like, I don't know. I hate it. I hate the mid-year thing is the most disgusting part of this to me because that's
Well,
part of the fun of what is like you put together your team in June, July, you get them ready all the way through October, and then we see what you got. And now it's like, oh, like this guy just wasn't hurt, and then now coming eligible, it's hey, I see I'm weak in X spot. I could really use some help. You come on, like I don't like it.
yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. And I also feel like that um, it it diminishes the ability to have any sort of credibility. Or any is that if the G League dissolved today, the next year college basketball season, as it is today, would be filled with G League players.
Oh, 1,000%. Like,
Like it would be an absolute influx.
what's the point of making these kids go to class now? Like, basketball always
Other,
suffered from this anyway, and Bob Knight was one of the ones that pointed out. After this December finals thing, do you think any of those one and done players went to class? Let's be honest, they weren't, and that's fine. Props to them, but like, why are we making these kids go to class other than to hold on to some relic of a thing that we were?
yeah,
It's just sad all the way around. I mean, and once again, I want to be sure to point this out. It is not that I'm mad that players are getting paid or the coaches and players are taking advantage of the situation. I'm mad that the NCAA sat on their hands with their head buried in the sand, and I mean that literally. I think that's exactly what they did to let this get way out of control, and there's no way to rein it back in.
I completely, I'm with you. Yeah, it's nothing against what they're doing. It's just what they're being allowed to do. But yeah, now I think that kind of covers our bench behavior. That could be the bench behavior.
For
That could be the
the
marquee
rest of the year.
of bench. Yeah, and the thing is, it's not over. I mean, more and more are going to come. So I'm sure that this will be brought up later on in the podcast and later episodes. But and when Sam gets back and off of the naughty list purgatory, then he'll be back on with us, and I'm sure I think he'll have a lot to say. And based off of our group chat, I'm very confident to say that he agrees with us.
Yeah.
Um, and if there's someone out there who completely disagrees with us and what we're saying,
Yeah.
comment and let us know. I'm honestly I'm curious to hear because everybody around me in my sphere of people who I follow on social media, people who I talk to, everyone is thinking the same way. This is a disgrace, whatever. I've not heard anyone be like, yeah, no, this is awesome. This is pretty sweet.
I
And,
would,
and if you feel that way, let me hear. I want to hear it.
yes, I would please do because I would love to see some reasoning there because I've yet to find a reason that it makes it okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for our standing O tonight, Jake, do you want to
Look,
kind of mention that?
look, I knew we'd be very negative, so I wanted to end on a positive note.
Yeah,
I was searching through some really cool sports stories, and I ran across this Philadelphia foundation that is for hockey, like blind youth to play hockey, which that's a fun statement. But it's cool that this whole organization exists and that they're getting these kids involved because like I did a lot of the Special Olympics and like I did blind skiing and stuff. That's a blast, a lot of fun, and those guys are super talented, super athletic, and getting them out there to do a sport that you wouldn't think is possible. And then not only that, that they've got like the Philadelphia Flyers alumni and staff and are getting way behind this organization, and they've earned enough money with this one event to like carry them for several years now. Like props to the Flyers, props to the city of Philadelphia and everything for like doing this and having it done. Just absolutely incredible story.
it really is. And we're going to try to incorporate the link somewhere in our YouTube channel. We're going to do our best to get that on there because this is such a cool thing.
Yeah. And we
Please,
may be
please go
late
check
to it.
it
Like
out.
this may be something that's been around for a minute and I just never heard of it, but this was cool to me.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really cool. And I think it's goodgoodgood.com.
That's where I saw the story, but
Yeah. Oh, that's where the story is.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna try to put a link up there because this is just really, really neat. If you've not heard of this or want to hear more about it, go check it out. So neat, such a cool thing. But what's not cool is when the coach is giving us the side eye like he's giving us right now. So
Yeah.
we better get ourselves together and go get in there and win this ball game.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll see y'all next while because we gotta go take care of some mop up duty.
That's right.
All right, see y'all.
See y'all.